Jeez. You can tell it's New Year's Eve around this household. All right. Thank you very much, boxing fans around the world, for joining us here on Talk and Fight, the last episode of the Friday night panel of 2021. And before we get going, because it is the end of the year, I would like to say a thank you to all the hosts and all the guests who did appear on Talk and Fight throughout the year since our inception in the October month prior. So what year is that? 2020. So we've been on for nearly a year and a half now, and doing quite well. I just wanted to say thanks to all those hosts and guests who have helped us get this far. On this particular episode, we want to have a quick look back on 2021. So we may as well say right off the hop, quick little final farewell to those boxers who've laid down their boxing gloves and passed. There were quite a few of them.
Yes,
I remember, so it is a year in review. I thought I'd start off by saying thank you to those who passed on, and I know they're enjoying their journey wherever they may be right now.
They're in the ring in the sky.
The big ring in the sky, for sure they are, without a doubt. The way I kind of had this going was, first of all, I thought there'd be more guys joining us. They said they would be joining us, but I guess it being New Year's Eve, here we are, Mike. I just got a couple of best of this and best of that in my own little mind. But before I even say another word, how you doing, Mike?
I'm great. There's not much to report on tonight about the fights except for the one card tomorrow. So we might as well touch base on that, get that over with. Yes, the Ortiz and Martin card. This is gonna be a great showdown, guys. It's gonna be a great first fight for the beginning of the year. The weigh-in was not of any concern to any of the 10 participants on the 5 fights. All heavyweights are going to be going on. Saturday evening, Seminole Hard Rock. Miami's Ortiz. He's weighed in at 243.4 pounds, the heaviest of his career for his first fight since a 45-second wipeout of Alexander Flores nearly 14 months ago. That fight represents his lone ring appearance for the Cuban Southpaw, who turns 43 in March, since his repeat knockout loss to the then unbeaten WBC heavyweight titleist Deontay Wilder in November of 2019. So, and his opponent, the Martin, has weighed in at 246.2 pounds for the first fight since the pandemic. The St. Louis native, now based out of the greater Los Angeles area, has been out of the ring since February of 2020 with a stoppage win over Gerald Washington, who also appears on Saturday's show. And then in that co-feature, who we talked about during the week, man, Frank Sanchez, 19-0 with 13 KOs, faces the late replacement, Kristen Hammer, who is 26-8 with 16 KOs in a scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout. I'm super excited for this card. There's a lot of guys that I've been following throughout the year, and honestly, at least we got some boxing for New Year's Day. Shout out to Ray from Last Mile Boxing over in the UK. How's it going, brother? Join us if you'd like. There's the link. We're just shooting our mouths off about this wonderful card here. Also in that on that card, man, we got Frank Martin, who is 14-0, and this is a lightweight battle. This is another guy that I've been closely watching, throughout his career, and he's going up against Romero Duno. Should be great, man. Scheduled for 10 rounds. Duno is 24-2-0, and oh man, I'm loving it. Victor Vikhurst is on this card as well. I've talked about him numerous times, profiled him, the Ukraine, 29 years old, known as Victor Faust. Man, 8-0 with 6 KOs. He's back in action, man, and I'm super excited to see this. It's not that often that we get these big heavyweight cards, and that's what this one is, man. It's full of some heavyweight action. So to all the people out there that love boxing and love watching these heavyweights go at it, don't miss this event. I can't put it to you any better, man. January 1st, 8 p.m., Fox Sports, Fight TV. The new year will kick off this heavyweight bang as 5 exciting heavyweight matchups take center stage in the jam-packed Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view on New Year's Day, live from Hard Rock. You can't go wrong with that, man. I'm super excited. But that's all we really have to talk about in really the world of boxing for matches tomorrow. There's nothing really
Well,
going on tonight.
having having said that, then as I promised our fans on Facebook and other platforms, we would discuss our opinions on certain matters, which we tend to do when we go a little offside, as we tend to do. So, so yeah, I mean, if you have nothing to do on New Year's Day, there you go, something to do. And I mean, quite frankly, if you're a sports fan here in North America, there's not much going on, mainly due to COVID. So I do kind of find it surprising that one of the closest contact sports is having this event still. But good for them. Good for them. I was reading a whack of different articles as we prepared for this episode on other people's opinions, best fight of the year, best fighter of the year, all that kind of stuff. And there's one of the interesting things that I noticed was the upsurge, if you will, in recognition of female fighters. I'm not going to say women's boxers, but female fighters. I'll be gender specific and just simply, but I can't believe how many discussions there were going on between when they're called best fight of the year, best fighter of the year. There were actually women in those discussions as well, which is really good to see. But my best of the year, best upset of the year, here it comes. You have your opinion, I'm sure, but here's mine. And we have not, fans out there, we have not discussed this, so these are surprises. But I think the biggest upset of the year goes to George Kambosos for his defeat of Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree that that match was. We were waiting for that match to happen, man. That match, took. But I think there was 3 dates that were set. It was picked up and dropped, and wow, what a what a joke. And you know what? Yeah, it was a big upset. But you know what? It just goes to show you, all it takes is, man, some punches, and you can win it. It's anybody's game. That's what it shows you.
I think depending on which articles you're reading, if you're reading British articles, they would say, perhaps most would say, the biggest upset was Anthony Joshua losing to Alexander Usyk. I was
gonna mention that. That was a huge upset. Definitely, we got to see that early in the year. That rematch has got to get underway, and we got to see some. Let's see some Anthony Joshua the way we know him to be, and fighting at least the way we know him to fight. Because honestly, wow.
Yeah, I picked him to win. I was surprised he lost, but in that vein of Teofimo Lopez losing, came up gutsiest performance, best gutsiest performance of the year, and the interesting debate there was, because the doctor said he had like swelling of the lungs, something to that effect. Well, our producer's actually entered.
Yeah, our producer is Grace's.
I'm here. I know.
only to promote his client. But under Gutsia's performance was Ebony Bridges. Okay. But that was going hand in hand with Teofimo Lopez. So it was interesting that Ebony Bridges. B-Hop, how's it going? Look at that glass in hand. He's ready.
Look, bro.
He is ready. Cheers to you.
Yeah, I'm from the UK, man. I just want to say happy fucking New Year to all you bastards.
Awesome. Yeah. I have some highlights.
Yeah,
I have some highlights that I'm gonna play, and it might actually just show up just in one of our side panels, but I'm gonna go through and I want to play a couple minutes of a few of our shows that we've had on in the past here. Oh, there we go. All right, so we're gonna start. We're gonna start off with O'Shea Jones and how she absolutely
she's a
rocks
nice
my
looking
club.
lady. That's a nice looking
She is,
lady.
and she's got a great personality too. And I want to point that out. All right, can you guys hear her?
No, I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
You can hear her or you can't?
yeah. I can hear it myself.
All right, perfect. Okay, so that's
Oh, it's
all
cut
right.
out now.
You know what? I can't hear it. So, this might
It's
not
cut out,
actually
it's
work
cut out.
as wonderful. This might not work as wonderfully as I thought it might, but you know what?
Technology at its finest.
I think I might have to just make up an awesome reel of all of our best interviews over the last year and a bit, and just and put that together into a little
Listen,
video
you've
for
been
our
watching too
followers
much
and
of the
our
James. Listen, I gotta say this: you've been watching too much of the James Webb telescope. You've been watching them going
Oh,
up like
yeah,
Elon
and
Musk.
I'm quite proud of I'm quite proud of those chaps over there down in where are they? They're in Texas or something, right? And
I think so, somewhere around
we're not in the States. We're in Canada. Just to put that out there. I mean, not that it makes us any better. We're still in North America, but I mean, it is quite a bit down there to get down to Texas.
Yeah, bro. Listen, what's going on at the moment with big James Webb thing where they're putting all these. It's like a big roast. You know when you do a roast chicken, it's just going like that. It's full of what is it? Foil. They put foil. It goes like that. Listen, I couldn't give a fuck. It's what is it? New Year's Eve. I couldn't give a flying at the moment. To be honest, I couldn't give a fuck. Listen,
B-Hop, who's your top five? Who's your top five? Yeah, this is a boxing channel, but you got to start off with
all time of all time.
Yeah, you got to start off.
Yeah, what boxing?
We got to start off with your top five. Otherwise, we're booting you. Come on, let's hear it. Who you got?
All time?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh wow. What? Oh, this is difficult. Not you mean not because I'm gonna put you sick.
All right.
This is gonna be difficult. You want the top five all time after their careers, after the career's done.
Hey, I posed the question. It was
who's
your top five to stay? Who's your top five to stay?
Do you want my top five of all time? So you're gonna go Muhammad Ali. Well, of all time. Muhammad Ali. Yeah, if you want my top five of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Pancho Villa, who was a Filipino champion. So you got Muhammad Ali, Pancho Villa, who was a Filipino. Third fighter of all time. Lennox Lewis.
All right.
Oh, the great Canadian fighter. Good.
The great Canadian. Yeah.
This is a good list you're getting from me. So you've got who did I say was first?
Yeah. So far we're
Muhammad
Ali.
You got Muhammad Ali.
Do you want my fourth of all time is going to be Rocky Marciano?
That's a good one.
Fair enough,
Yeah.
That's my fourth of all time, Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
And my fifth of all time is Jack Dempsey. So
I thought you were gonna say Jake Paul.
No,
Jack Dempsey.
No, that wouldn't. No, that's not. That's not happening.
I've got some credibility.
As an Englishman, as an Englishman, it's interesting that you mentioned quite a few Americans in there.
Yeah, the American in terms of boxing, Soldier Field in Chicago, Madison Square Garden. The only place that boxing existed over the last 200 years was in the United States. It wasn't in England.
Quite a statement. Yeah. I mean, like, we love
England. Listen, the belts existed here, but the actual sport of boxing has always been from the United States. And that's that. And if people want to argue that, if they want to argue that with me, then you're more than willing to get in a conversation with me, and you're going to get destroyed.
It looks like Last Bell's got some things to say here. He's got the Mecca boxing. What
He
about
can
your
get his
call?
ass on here and discuss American. If he wants to
Yes,
discuss
he's
American
got the
boxing with
link.
me,
He's got the link.
Hey,
He's beat up today.
before we go any further, might I continue with my own little list here?
Yeah.
Who's your prospect of the year out of 2021? Coming out of 2021, who's your prospect of the year?
that's an excellent question.
Mine would be
Keyshawn Davis, probably. Keyshawn Davis.
It's pretty good. Then I think Mike knows where I'm going.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not Avril Matthew.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, I
a
thought
good
it
choice.
I thought it was going to be Avril Matthew.
But
That's a good
speaking of
choice.
it's a fantastic choice.
Yes,
But it's Jared Big Baby Anderson.
yeah, man. Big
No,
man.
he's good.
You said that before. You said that before, though. You said about Big
Look-
Baby Anderson about a year or two ago on your channel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
look for him. He's going to make big moves in 2022.
Do you think he's going to do anything at heavyweight?
Yes, absolutely. He already has. I think he's 10-0.
I don't know, man. I think he could be another AJ. I gotta be straight with you.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Do you have any prospects of the year, Mike?
Honestly, yeah, man. Miyamoto.
Ah,
Our girl Miyamoto, man, coming through, staying undefeated. Probably the busiest fighter in the world.
Yeah.
She's
You know, fighting
one of
10
my
times-
she's one of my
fighting 10
favorite
times
too.
in a year. Like literally, she fought 10 times in a year, man. She's got 2 belts. You know, mother of 5 from New Zealand, just taking it by storm. And,
Yeah, bro.
shout out to her. Also, yeah, man, I have to give a shout out to our guys, Haven Brady, Jalen Skywalker,
Facts.
Brian
Facts.
Norman Jr. We got them all, man.
Facts.
There's tons of these guys. Tons of these guys.
Yep. So okay.
My
was your
biggest upset though, biggest upset of the year,
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
Go on, bro.
Jake
Paul gets Tyrone Woodley, bro.
Jake Paul joining boxing is the biggest upset of the year.
Nah, man. I think the biggest
He hasn't
upset
fought.
was
He hasn't fought any boxers yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Even he admits that.
Jake Paul, bro.
Yeah.
Did you see what Dana White said though? Right, Dana White's sick and tired of being called the cokehead, so he says, "All right, you know what? I'll do 10 years. I'll do 10 years of drug testing. All right, if Jake Paul will do 2 years of steroid testing."
I thought he said 2 months.
Right. So
Jake Paul, Jake Paul, I love all that shit though. The Jake Paul's thing, it's really good, really, really good. I don't hate it, to be honest. So
You know what? It is what it is. I'm glad to see that he's giving boxers an opportunity here to make some real serious coin, which is really good. He's giving these boxers some of their best paydays they've ever had. So
it's entertaining.
He's really doing shit. You know what? He's the greatest. He's the greatest troll. He's the greatest troll, man. He can literally,
There you
get
go.
inside people's heads and kick
yeah,
them.
the king of trolls, right? The king of trolls, Mr. Jake Paul and his older brother. You know what?
Logan.
They've made and it's ridiculous, right? Logan, you'd think he's the squirrelier of the two, and you'd think he'd be the younger one, but no, he is the older brother, and he led his younger brother astray. He's like, hey, let's make a bunch of money, and let's put you on a stage, and let's have some fun with this. And they didn't realize that they're getting into a heavy hitting sport, I don't understand what they were trying to prove. What are they trying to prove? If I had the amount of money that they had to, and you look at the spectacle that they're creating, it's there's a lot of respect to be had with not just falling off the map with what they've done, with what they may or may not deserve. you know, they may, you know, still disappoint us in the future. And I mean, maybe many will say they already have. But, you know, that being said, is, you know, they have a great opportunity ahead of them. And I mean, they're really not, I'm not
Hey,
expecting.
stop being a
I'm not.
hater. Stop being a hater.
No. Hey, I mean, I'm trying to learn from the best, right?
You ain't
And
gonna learn nothing from them.
I was trying to learn from you, B-Hop. Come on, man. I'm the producer. I see every comment that comes in this place.
The only thing you're gonna learn from me is how to get drunk, because I'm English. So you'll learn how to get pissed.
Oh, I got a college diploma in that, buddy.
I'm curious to see what MVP signs next.
You're gonna learn much from me. I'm a bit like what's his name, Michael Bisping. I've got his ear as well.
You know,
Yeah.
according to the PBC, the fighter of the year, according to one of their polls, was actually Nonito Donaire, because you'd mentioned the Filipinos earlier, and
yeah, but they'll always the thing with PBC though, they're always going to play games, especially Showtime and everything. So I wouldn't really listen to them or Bob Arum. And then you got WBC with the belt. They're trying to cause shit. I don't think there's anything in boxing that's good at the moment. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
No, I disagree. I think Canelo Alvarez is something to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, tell me how you really feel. No, just kidding. Hi, Ray. Ray, how's it going,
to
buddy?
discuss Canelo? I could
How
discuss
you doing?
Canelo.
First and foremost, Happy New Year.
Yes.
Oh,
Happy
is this
New Year.
later? Is this later?
Ray, how are you?
Not too bad. How you doing? How you doing, Mike?
Not
Graham,
bad, man.
Eric?
Long time no see.
I see, what you today, mate? You B-hop, pigeon plop? What are you getting called now?
This is the B-hop, bro.
B-hop, is it?
Are you from the Bell Boxing channel?
No, it was last spell. It was last spell. It was the one that we kept trying to get you on, and you kept running off. You kept running off.
So what are you up to?
You kept
mate?
changing your name, man. You kept changing your name. You kept not wanting to come on. What was the matter with you?
What are you up to, son? What are you up to, young
I'm
man?
just enjoying life, mate. I'm just enjoying life, chilling, talking boxing. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've had a good day. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see you've only just had a couple.
New Year's yet. It's not New Year's yet here.
Come on and hit me what we're talking about tonight, then, Eve, Chance.
We're discussing boxing, young man.
Biggest upsets. What's
Biggest
your
upsets?
Biggest upset of the year.
For me, if I'm honest, it's got to be. I know everyone says Cambosis Lopez, and I agree with that. By the way, it's definitely up there. But the one that gets me the most is Laura, Josh Warrington, simply because
100%.
Nobody. At least with Cambosis Jr., you knew who he was.
Right.
You knew he fought Lee Selby. You knew he was unbeaten. You knew he had quick hands. You knew at least he had some sort of skills that, although you weren't picking him to win the fight, at least you thought, okay, maybe he can.
Warrington got knocked out.
Lopez
Warrington destroyed. Listen,
Laura absolutely wiped out Josh Warrington. Nobody knew who Laura was. Record.
Yeah, listen, I knew people that were training with Ramirez, Jose Ramirez and Lara in the same team. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. I'm from Birmingham. I'm a bit drunk. But...
You're always drunk, man. Never seen people.
But Warrington and Lara were training in the same camp, and what he was saying was right. He's on that boxing channel with people from Northampton. What is it? Nottingham or Northampton? Listen, bro. That fight with Warrington against Lara, I made a lot of money on that because there was a lot of idiots in the UK who thought that Lara was going to get wiped by Warrington. I'm from Birmingham, bro. There was no way, and I've lived. My missus, I had kids who have. Listen, bro. You're talking to a main man. There was
Mike's
no
not
way.
speaking.
Yeah, listen, bro. You need to shut up, bro. Listen, bro.
Me need to shut up. You're the one that's what's going on, no?
You need to shut up, bro. Listen, bro.
No, I'm not shutting up for
Anyway,
anyone. You tell the show.
Yeah, you
Right.
know, bro. I'm gonna shut you up in a minute. Listen, bro.
You're not.
Listen.
Well,
Anyone
make
who's
your point, man.
Laura,
I was in the middle of making my point, but you interrupted. So come on, hurry up.
listen. I won a lot of money on Laura knocking Warrington out, bro. There you go. Listen,
right,
go
thank
to
you.
your.
That was
Wait.
a lot of build up for nothing.
Listen, this man, do you go on the Imran TV? The Imran TV. Listen, I made a lot of money over Warrington getting knocked out in that fight. A lot of money, man. £1,200 I made on that.
All right, want to send some my way?
Yeah. Send it
Listen,
over.
bro, you're
We,
not
we
allowed
have
to
we have
get-
a donate option. We have a donate option. I mean, we are not doing as well as you may think we're doing with this channel, but
We accept
I mean,
we accept donations.
Listen, you're lucky I'm on here. To be honest, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that you've invited me here. To be fair, I just think it's so good, and the Khan Brook's going to be excellent. That's really going to be a good fight. I don't care what people say about Khan Brook. What is it? Asian against black thing? The Khan Brook. Listen,
It's got nothing to do with Asians and blacks.
it's got a massive listen, bro.
It's got to do. It's Yorkshire versus Lancashire.
right.
It's
Listen,
nothing to
bro,
do with
this
Asians
is
versus
a
black.
this fight. Listen, don't lie to me, bro. Don't lie.
No,
to
you
me,
don't
bro.
lie. You don't lie. You're hammered, mate. You don't even know what you're talking about. Asian versus
The
black. What are you
whole
talking
thing about can't lie. Listen, bro. Calm down, bro. Calm down.
Hey, Mike, I thought this was your role. Are you gonna let you're gonna let B-Hop come in here? He's gonna come in here. He's gonna out Mike.
Bro.
He's gonna out Mike Orr. Is that what he's gonna do?
Yo,
No.
listen. Wait. Can we discuss the
All right.
Calzaghe fight? No, wait. Can we discuss the Calzaghe fight against Bernard Hopkins? Can I discuss it with you here?
No.
Calzaghe
Very well
got
put,
beat,
Mike.
bro.
Very well put.
Just straight now. Yo, Ray, go back to your Laura Warrington, man.
Oh man,
Yeah. So
people
as
are
I
nasty,
was
bro.
saying,
As you were saying, Ray,
the Laura
man,
one
it's got
surprised
for a
me the
week,
most
bro.
because I don't know about you boys over in Canada, but I hadn't heard much of Laura, and for me, I just thought I know Josh Warrington lost his belt not in the ring by politics, and I just thought this Laura was just going to be a walkover until he fought Navarrete. I literally thought Laura was just easy pickings and easy defense. I know he didn't have the belt at the time, but you know what I mean. He was just going to walk through him and set him up for a big fight. I didn't expect that in the manner that it happened as well. The first couple of rounds, Laura looked bang average, to be honest. He looked flat-footed. He looked slow. You could tell he could dig, but he didn't have anything at that time to trouble Warrington. A little bit of power, yeah, but Warrington had all the tools to evade that. Warrington had the quicker hands, better footwork. He had the ring IQ as well. But then, for some reason, Josh Warrington, people were saying it was the ring walk, but for me, it was as the rounds grew on, he looked unsettled. And I think that was a big surprise for me. And that was when that was start all the talk in the UK about the lack of fans affecting the fighters. And I think that was a great example. You would overall go for Kambosos and Lopez, but for me, that's got to be high up there. Laura versus Josh Warrington.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's in my top 5 of big ones for sure.
Yeah.
Another big one for me was the Kiko Martinez and Kid Galahad.
Oh man, yeah.
What a shock! Like scoring, that was a shock upset, man. In the main event, for nearly 5 rounds, the fight was going the way of heavily favored Galahad, who was facing pressure from Martinez, but handling it fine. And then as Martinez just didn't seem able to do enough damage.
Yeah.
The tone changed sharply late in the fifth round, and Galahad was caught on his chin, drilled with that right hand, and wow, put him to the canvas. Like, that was a huge upset. I did not expect that one to happen at all.
No, I'll be honest with you, Mike. I didn't think Kiko Martinez had anything left.
No,
I thought he was turning up for a payday. You know,
I thought he was getting beat. Yeah.
What, you thought he was getting beat?
Yeah, I agree with you. I just thought Kiko Martinez was turning up for a payday off Eddie Hearn, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't think he had anything left, but yeah, and then he does what he does and shocks the world with this huge upset. But yeah, big upsets this year, man. A lot of upsets.
There was obviously you've got Beck the Bully getting beat off Gabe Bizzardo.
Yeah. Oh wow.
What do you think?
I know you guys will probably want to do a knockout of the year. I know Mike loves these knockouts.
No, you're right. No.
So I don't want to jump in there too far. I don't want to stay, take the fire away from Mike. But that was some finish by Gabe Bizzardo. Again, that came out of nowhere.
Can I ask you? Because I'm from the UK as well, and I don't know what's going on with. What do you think is going on with Dillian White and Tyson Fury at the moment? Because I don't know, bro. People don't know in my city what's going on. We don't know if this fight's going to happen or not.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll get done. The world wants to see it. The world wants to see it. It'll happen. I think 2022, it's going to be the year, man. A lot of fights are going to happen that we've all been waiting for. These divisions are going to start moving around, man.
I just think things need to seem to happen at the moment, and I'm not seeing the fights happening, to be fair. It seems to be a bit disheartening. And
politics and money, that's what it's all about, right?
Well, and it's also the New Year's and Christmas holidays. So, I mean, this week is due to be a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the biggest fights of the year, I'll say, has to be Ebony Bridges and Shannon Courtney.
That was shit. That was a shit.
That was a good. I agree with you, Mike. Considering where they were in terms of, they don't have a lot of fight experience. I think they both have less than 2 fights at the
trying
time.
to give me a hard on, bro, because that Ebony Bridges is fight, very nice looking.
So was Natasha Jonas and Katie Taylor.
She's beautiful. You know that Natasha. Have you seen that Natasha Jonas? She's a beautiful, very beautiful. I don't think.
Perfect.
Oops.
I'm surprised it took you half an hour to do that, lads.
But you know what? It's fun because he makes no sense.
It's New Year's Eve.
Well, hey, we're not here to make fun of anybody.
No.
Everybody's entitled to their point of view. You know what? I'll forgive myself for not realizing all the past comments might potentially come up. But I mean, I actually don't have a problem with free speech. Everybody's allowed to say whatever the F they want, unless it's swear words on our channel. Because
which is happening too much there.
Realistically, just because we are really trying to have a family channel here, and
Well,
Ray, I have a question for you, Ray.
You'll not be so welcoming.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? The link's still wide open in the
question.
Yep.
Who's your favorite female boxer right now?
Ooh.
Who, me?
Yep, you are right.
Favorite female boxer at the moment.
Yep.
I would probably go for Savannah Marshall.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Savannah Marshall is one big fight away from becoming the household name she deserves to be. So she's my favorite. Also, it also helps that she's from about half an hour down the road from where I live now. But she's a very good fighter. I mean, Mike would have profiled her. She can punch. She can take a shot. She's now training with Peter Fury, who you'll know is the uncle of Tyson Fury. But she can fight. and I believe whichever way it goes, she'll give Clarissa Shields a hell of a fight.
Oh, definitely.
So I would definitely pick her. I'm also a big fan of my two favorite ones over across the pond. I'm stuck between I think Michaela Mayer's improved a lot. She's improved a lot. I wasn't too keen on her the first time I saw her, but she really is getting better with every fight. And I'm a big Serrano fan as well.
Oh, you took it right out of my mouth.
Serrano, I mean, what she's achieved. And you know, one of my highlights of this year, you know, you can't put it in a knockout or you can't put it in, you know, a fight of the year, what have you. It was the fact that despite me absolutely hating Jake Paul, he made Amanda Serrano a millionaire. And I thought that was a nice touch. You know, that's one of the nice things about him getting involved in boxing, although I don't agree with him whatsoever. Amanda Serrano deserves to be a millionaire. If anyone deserves to be, that makes sense. To be a 7-weight champion, you know, and I believe that maybe in 10 years' time, another female who would achieve the same feat will probably be earning 3 or 4 times as much. That's how we're going to see the progression of women's boxing. If you went back 10 years, you know, in the noughties, perhaps women boxers wouldn't have earned more than, you know, the equivalent of $100,000 or £100,000. But to see them earning what they are now, they deserve it. I suppose I've got Katie Taylor at the front, but the fact that I can sit and name 3 or 4 top, you know, women's boxers just tells you how far that side of the sport's come about.
Oh man, it's.
What do you think about Jessica McCaskill?
Justin McCaskill. I mean, wow. I mean, we've been very careful in England not to write her off because of the Katie Taylor loss, but she's bounced back. She's become undisputed, and depending on the outcome of the Taylor Serrano fight, she's in there with a shout of wanting a rematch. I don't think Katie Taylor would give her a rematch, and I think at welterweight, Katie Taylor would do well to stay well clear. She's now 2 weights above Katie Taylor, and I think McCaskill beats Katie Taylor on the in the rematch. I know when I was on the last bell with Carl and Andy, we were all agreeing that Katie Taylor's on the slide a bit, you know. She's been a great servant to the game.
Well, they fought back in 2017 too, right? Like,
they did.
McCaskill's come a long way since then. She
has, and she's got a long way up, and Katie Taylor's kind of been steady and starting to decline. She's had a long career in pro and amateur boxing, Katie Taylor, and I think at her age, 34 now, we're starting to see the wear and tear. But Jessica McCaskill's a very good fighter. You know, you've got Baumgardner as well. She's a good fighter. The girl that beat Shannon Courtney, she's a good fighter as well.
Oh, Alicia Baumgardner.
Well, she beat Terry Harper. She stopped Terry Harper. Alicia Baumgardner, I think was it Jess Martin who beat
that was back. Yeah, when was that? That was back in November, I believe it was.
Something like that, November, October time. Yeah, it may even been September.
Well, that was one I didn't see coming, actually. Like, Alicia Baumgardner just came out of nowhere there and put up the good fight.
See, Terry Harper, I saw coming in the sense that I think Terry Harper was lucky to have that belt. In my opinion, Natasha Jonas beat her.
Yeah,
Natasha Jonas beat her. Terry Harper was very, very lucky to come away with that belt. I think at the end of the day, what the good thing about this year, because of the better matchmaking, because of the pandemic, in some aspects, some matchmaking was still quite poor, like on the fight camp cards. People like paper champions got exposed a little bit, like Shannon Courtney, Terry Harper. They got exposed when they got put in with somebody that knew what they were doing, and that's what we saw.
One of the other female fighters that Mike has profiled, Senicia Estrada.
Right now holds what the fastest knockout record in women's boxing.
So
7 seconds, 7 punches.
So we can sit here for, as opposed to years gone by, on a recap edition of what's happened. we've now listed 5 or 6 female fighters who are truly great fighters, and should be recognized as such. So, and they're from different parts of the world too. So it's not like one country's dominating in terms of training and or compensating. Quite frankly, these fighters. I think 2022 will be the year of the female fighter.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, Graham. I think I can think of 2 or 3 massive fights to make. Katie Taylor and Serrano, that's definitely going to be happening. I think maybe March time in New York. Yeah, it's a big fight.
The funny thing is,
unfortunately, on the next Paul card, but
well, I was going to say the funny thing is you've got Eddie Hearn on one side and Jake Paul on the other side. So 2 of the biggest mouths. I mean, it will be a massive fight.
Yeah, it'll be a massive fight. It'll be the women's fight of the century, man. That's what it'll be.
Well, I also think in terms of in what could match that fight from women's boxing would be Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall.
Yeah.
Simply because you've got Clarissa Shields undisputed in 2 weight categories.
Yeah.
The history of what she's achieved in amateur boxing. Yeah. And then you've got Savannah Marshall, who's the only boxer to have beaten her, is an amateur. And I think both have improved so much since that fight.
Right.
And this would probably be the first time she's in there. I know Christina Hammer had a good reputation as well. Right. But Savannah Marshall's got substance. So, Christina Hammer, I believe a lot of it was there. She was fighting a lot of stiffs in Germany. Savannah Marshall's been putting away those stiffs. She's not just been beating them on points, looking all right. She's been stopping people. She's been, I don't know any females that hit hard like what Savannah Marshall does.
She hits like a truck, man.
She does, Mike. She does. And
she hits like a truck, and she's got her accuracy. She's got that pinpoint accuracy. Her punches come straight out. There's no telegraphing. She's real tight, and she just flows, man. And the way her fists flow, it's technique, man. Technique creates power. That's why she hits so damn hard.
That's it. And it looks effortless, Mike. It looks effortless, and she doesn't waste a lot of shots. So that's going to be a very interesting fight. So I think you've got commercially a massive fight in Katie Taylor in terms of revenue, particularly if it's around St. Patrick's Day. And then you've got a stylistic matchup, which is going to be fantastic for the purists, if you know what I mean. It might not do as well economically, but it would still be a great fight. So yeah, you're right, Graham. This year is definitely going to be the year where female people.
Well, I think the last signing of the year for Eddie Hearn was a woman, Alicia Baumgartner. So, I mean, I don't know what he's got lined up for her, but I mean,
he's gonna start building his roster to go against what Amanda Serrano is leading off with Jake Paul. He's got to crush Jake Paul. It's not about having any contender. No, it's about absolutely annihilating the competition. I think for that situation right there.
And who did Christy Martin just sign, Mike?
Sorry.
No.
So there's not just fighters, but there's also managers and promoters. We've just had a really good chat with some women in the States who are building their roster. One of those women, they made a movie about her actually called Against the Ropes. So, I mean, there's a lot of women getting involved in the sport.
Destiny Jones.
Yes, Destiny Jones.
Right. So, and not to mention the young lady we were talking about, the Olympian who we were talking about at the beginning of the show before Ray jumped on here, O'Shea Jones.
O'Shea Jones.
So I think there's a lot. There's a lot of competition that's bubbling under, and there's an awful lot of really top level competition that are going to excite the fans. Anyway, so that was just my single thought that I think 2022 the heavyweight division in the men's weight class is going to get cleaned up, I think, and I hope.
Yeah, will do.
The welterweight looks like an interesting division as far as men are concerned. I really like what's happening there.
Welterweight and lightweight. Welterweight and lightweight.
So
two
we have
big divisions right now, man.
Mm.
The two biggest
a couple
divisions.
of really good divisions that fighting fans are looking forward to seeing some good results out of. I didn't like, just an opinion here, I didn't like the way Terrence Crawford handled that relationship with Bob Arum in public. And I didn't like Bob Arum's response either, because I'm sure he made a lot of money on pay-per-view sales. But nonetheless, the victory was a victory that night. But I do think a lot of the other weight classes have a lot to still resolve, if you will,
Right.
in terms of how their fighters are getting compensated. I think the pay-per-view stats are going to speak for themselves in helping to sort that out. I know there's a lot. Sky Sports has an edge in the UK. We don't get it here. Whereas we do get DAZN. So there's gonna be I still think there's still a lot to play for when it comes to pay-per-view and live streaming in 2022. I think there's going to be a lot of other competitors enter the space. Certainly we have our designs on broadcasting a few shows as well. So I think live streaming and pay-per-view are going to make an impact in 2022 on all the different weight classes, and certainly you're going to see and this has nothing to do with Jake Paul, but you're going to see an awful lot of personalities becoming more, public, as opposed to just what skill sets they have to display in the ring. You know how we used to back in I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the old day, you really would pay attention to what Muhammad Ali had to say. You would pay attention to what these boxers had to, because they actually did typically have something to say. Right. Other than what I'm hearing out of either Tyson Fury's mouth or Jake Paul's mouth, quite frankly, either one of those, I couldn't care less what, even though each professes to be self-righteous, but they're both big-mouthed, and I really don't really care what they have to say. But in days gone by, I really did listen to what respected boxers had to say, and it's funny, even to this day. There's a time when I really, really liked Mike Tyson. Then there's a time when I really didn't like Mike Tyson. But now I kind of like him again, and because he's saying the right things these days. Yeah. Mike Tyson's saying the right things, and he's doing the right things, and he's
behaving himself, Graham. That's the main thing. He's behaving himself.
Exactly. It must be all that weed he's smoking. It's got him all calmed down.
But maybe that's a lesson. Maybe that's a lesson that some of these promoters need to learn when they're training their boxers when it comes to these weigh-ins and these post-fight interviews. Like I don't understand what they get, what there is to gain from the shenanigans that go on either before a fight. Like, leave it for the ring. Leave it for the ring, is what I would argue. I mean, do you see this in any other sport? Is there any other sport in the world where you see these kinds of shenanigans going on before the actual event?
No. Honestly, this year was the year of like square offs at the weigh-ins, man. I swear I've seen like 10 people square. Hey, weigh in. Okay, let's take that picture. Oh, you touched my nose. Now we're gonna fight. Like,
and I mean, in such a gentleman's sport. I mean, you should think that initial tee off, that initial kind of nose to nose, that is the epitome of being able to show your control. And if you're not able to show control, then, I mean, really, what are we really glamorizing here? This chess game which they're not able to use their mind even in the pre-game of what's going on here? Like, I mean, your mind is what we are really competing for here in this game or in this sport. And if you can't even keep composure, or you can't even find the words in order to describe what you're going to do to your opponent in the upcoming match, what are we really glorifying here? My thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't know, because when you saw Canelo plant, I thought, if anything, Canelo lost his control there, but in the ring, Canelo was in complete control.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? There's a lot of build up to this too that happens, right? Because with COVID happening and fights being rescheduled 3 or 4 times and being pushed back and opponents getting dropped out, it is hard for these guys to keep their composure, man.
Yeah.
Situations, and then it just takes that one guy to say that one thing that just doesn't work, you know,
Or
Yeah.
take his hat.
or
Hey,
take
hey,
somebody's hat, or
hey, Ray, quick question. Do you think Josh Taylor's coming back?
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting next month.
Oh, wow.
He's fighting on the 26th against Jack Catterall, and that's in Glasgow. So the only way that fight doesn't happen is if the British Board of Boxing Control don't allow fights because of COVID.
Yeah.
There's talk of them making that decision on Tuesday for the rest of January.
Really?
Obviously, it's not Tuesday yet, so we don't know what they're going to say. But if that's the case and they decide that we're not going to put any fights on in January, then the Eubank fight will be off because he's fighting Liam Williams. But as far as I know, yeah, Josh Taylor's back. He's got his day. He's training, and by all accounts, he's looking really good. And I expect him. I mean, Jack Catterall's a good opponent, but I expect him to get rid of Jack Catterall probably around round 8.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I think it'll be a late one. I think it'll be a late stoppage for sure. I think you'll put him away.
Yeah, but after this one, Graham, I won't be surprised to see him at welterweight because this is a mandatory defense. Jack Catterall's mandatory, so provided when he gets rid of Jack Catterall, he'll be moving up. He might stay at 140, but I strongly suspect, if you ask me to put money on, that he goes up to 147 after this fight.
I think he'll do well at 147.
He's got the frame. I mean, if you look at him in head-to-heads, we've just been talking about head-to-heads there. He's taller than a lot of his opponents.
Yeah.
And he can easily fill into that frame easily.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, yeah, he's 5'10", right? So he's got the big frame, man, for that.
Yeah, of course. He's got the frame. He's got the reach. And he can the way he fights as well. He could carry that extra weight. I believe he probably just needs a steady opponent at welterweight. See how he handles it, and then he's ready. He's ready for the top kids at welterweight. I mean, he's been undisputed at 40 years, so
he puts in a lot of work to drop weight too to stay at that weight class, doesn't he? Right now.
Yeah, it would. You just said that he's 5'10", so when you're undisputed, I know people have to say, well, you have to fight like you're the challenger, but sometimes you're waking up and you think, well, what else is there left to achieve at that weight class?
Right.
He's just going to go through mandatories, and I think to keep his motivation going, and also financially as well.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking, I can earn more money at the welterweight division than what I can at 140. So it makes sense for him to step up, and there's some mouth-watering fights. Obviously, you've got Crawford, Spence, the winner of Keith Berman and Barrios, which is later this month. You've got Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. There's some big fights there.
Oh, huge fights there.
Given the it's been an argument of mine that I think Deontay Wilder should just hang up his gloves because of the injury he suffered to his brain that he won't admit to. But I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on comebacks that we might expect in 2022.
Well, there will be some. I think that one of the big things is, Graham, that because of the pandemic, there's still been some people who perhaps haven't had the opportunity to fight because of the pandemic, or and that for some people they managed to stay busy and stay active during the pandemic. Some people haven't. I'm interested to see how Regis Prograis comes back, if you can call it a comeback. I'm interested to see how he gets on. The Josh Taylor fight was close, even though I had Josh Taylor winning. But I think he's the next best one. He can make a lot of noise there. There's others as well. I really want to see how not I'm big fans of them, but I want to see how the likes of the Charlo boys do, plus Golovkin. I want to see some more noise at middleweight. I know Andrade Andrade fought. He fought quickly, but I like to see how he comes back at it at super middleweight. But yeah, so there's some, and obviously Keith Thurman. That's probably the other one for me. That I was trying to think of earlier. I know he's fighting in a couple of weeks. I think on the 22nd. I think against Barrios. Yeah. So for Thurman, Thurman's one, another one that I want to see to see how well he does. So there's a couple there, Graham, that in progress that you think they didn't get too much of a chance during the pandemic, but hopefully this coming year we get to see, what they're about.
Yeah, definitely. Thurman's fighting Barrios on February 5th.
Well, February, is it? February. All right.
Yeah, February 5th. So we'll be able to see him, and hopefully that'll be a nice coming back off that loss of Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah. I think it'll, it'll be Manny's went and retired, but people still want to see what Keith Thurman's got left.
Right.
People still want to see what he's about. It was only 2 or 3 years ago. Keith Thurman was the name on everybody's lips at the welterweight division.
Right.
So to have him in the mix, also as well in welterweight, we want to see how Albert Spence bounces back from this latest setback with his eye. So you've got to add him in that mix is there as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that I want to see come back. There's a lot of big things that happen this year. I know 2022 is definitely going to be. I honestly think it's going to be a kick-ass year. I think boxing is just going to. A lot of these bottleneck divisions are going to start to open up. Those mandatories are going to happen. The belts have already started changing hands. We're going to see these divisions move, and it's just going to make for exciting fights. I'm really, really happy to there's a big influx of new heavyweights that are just popping up on the scene that are under 10 fights that are very, very dangerous guys, and they're just going to get better, and they're becoming supersized, man. Like there's a lot of these guys now that are 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and they're coming out of nowhere, and they got the skills and they can move. And this is one of those things that the heavyweight division has been so lackluster and so boring for so long. I think we need this influx of new breed of super heavyweights to come in and really just start bringing that division back to where it was.
I'll give you guys a tip for the future. Bakadir Jalalov.
Yes.
We've done him.
Yeah, you've done him. Yeah. He's this guy. We probably did him the day after you told Mike about him. About 7 to 8 months ago. I saw this guy in the Olympics, and then cotton on the fact that he already had pro fights. But for your listeners, you need to get watching that guy, because that guy is going to make some serious noise.
You can go ahead and type his name if you can spell it. Otherwise, Google it, copy, paste, go over to our website, put it in the search bar, and then you'll be able to actually find. We have done that.
He's one to watch. He's one to watch, and Mike's right. It is opening up. You've got the likes of him, Ergovic, Jared Anderson, Big Baby Anderson, who people are banging on about. Frank Sanchez.
He's fighting tomorrow.
Just a couple days ago.
He is. The boys from England, Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce, yes, definitely.
He's going to be in there. One of our boys called Fraser Clark, he's just turned over. Yeah. So although he's not going to be going this year, but he's going to be making some early statements. I've got a feeling because he's they're going to push him.
I gotta say, I've not heard a single name that you can't Google on, or not Google, but you can't talk and fight search. You can't search if you go to talkandfight.com and you hit that search bar and you search any one of those names, you are going to find original Talkin' Fight content about that person.
You know,
Just
honestly,
gonna say.
honestly,
Just gotta say
you
that.
you gotta think of guys. You know, there's still Hargovich. There's still
Hergovich,
Serenko to watch out for. Uh, you know, we got Magomedov, Arslanbek Magomedov, the 6'9" monster. Like, there's a bunch of guys that we gotta watch out for, and they're just coming, man, to take their place in
yeah,
this division and just
yeah. And
My
what you were saying before that about divisions, bottlenecks,
yeah.
you know, and getting sorted out. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the light heavyweight division. Now Canelo looks as though he's going to be making some noise there, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that'll
Um,
be interesting.
yeah, I still think the cruiserweight division is going to sort itself out.
Yeah.
I'm tipping Lawrence Okoli to do well in that division, and
I
obviously,
think
you know,
I think he's the one that's flying under the radar. Not too many people know about him, but you know, like, and the guy's social media up, man. He's, you know, doing his rap thing. He's doing all this kind of
yeah,
shit,
he is doing his rap
and you
thing.
know,
Yeah,
and then you think about it, and you know, this kid who used to be a chubby kid who got bullied is just a monster in the ring, man,
yeah.
and people just, you know, Okoli, he's got it going on, man, and I've told all the people that watch my show, who've, you know, this is one guy you got to watch out for in the future, man. He's big for
He's
record, man.
practically a heavyweight.
Yeah,
He's practically a
exactly.
heavyweight in the cruiserweight ranks, and he can punch.
Oh,
He can punch, so he's in with a chance. And then you've got like the lightweight division's going to sort itself out. When Josh Taylor moves up, the 140 divisions left there. Yeah, so there's plenty of divisions where, you know, the light middleweight division as well, that unified clash to see who's going to be undisputed between Brian Castano and
yes,
Charlo. That rematch is going to take place this year, so that's another one as well.
yeah,
You know, we're going to see
Yeah.
some action at middleweight. We're going to see possibly, if Andre stays at 160, he's got to fight that Janilak, who is apparently his mandatory, and he's no slouch. He's
no,
really
he's
a
not.
skillful southpaw. That's going to be a real tricky fight for him if he stays there at 160. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting times. I can't wait for this year
I'm
to
super
knock out
excited for this
already.
year. I'm super excited for this year of boxing, man. I think the boxing fans are really gonna get what they asked for this year, man. You know, we these guys aren't letting these women show them up anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the women are getting in there. They're not. There's no politics. You know, these women, they take the fights. They don't care. They're just getting in there and smashing each other out. And I think it's about time that the men start following in. You know, following in line, like, as the women.
That's the thing with the women's boxing that you just mentioned. They don't avoid each other. You know,
Yeah.
they pretty much, they don't ask how much, apart from Clarissa Shields. Just practically say, "I'm fighting who? Okay,
Yeah.
when? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I'll be there." Where the
Yeah.
man, you know, it's what weight, what this, you know, that's
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. And I think that's the key difference. But I also think as well, there comes a point where promoters can use the pandemic and TV companies to their advantage. If you want
Trust.
big paydays, you're fighting. You're fighting. This is who you're fighting,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're more keen. They should be more keen to make these fights happen. But we'll see. But I'm very hopeful going into this year. If last year was a great year for boxing, 2021, and if
Oh.
this year trumps or matches that, we're in for a treat. We really
Oh
are.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely we are. Definitely we are, man. I'm super excited. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Boxing is on us. It's upon us. 2022, the year of the big fights, the year of the bottlenecks being opened, and all the new talent, all the influx of new talent that's come in, man. It's great. It's great.
I would just like to marry one thing that Ray said earlier with something that I had said earlier as well, and that is, if in fact the COVID pandemic continues to spread and postpone or cancel fights, I wonder if the various federations then will begin to move their fights to, shall we say, neutral countries or countries that are less restrictive when it comes to immigration policies. For example, the state of Florida in the United States has an open door policy when it comes to visitors. So I have to, and they're the home of Jake Paul's fights, if I'm not mistaken. So I have to wonder whether, if we move forward in 2022, the various boxing federations will begin to use what I'm going to call a neutral territory to hold the fights. Why? Because hometown advantage might at one point have made sense, but nowadays, given pay-per-view, given live streaming, and money being the underlying factor here, it doesn't really matter where it's being held, so long as it's capable of holding 4 cameramen and you have cables. Away you go. You've got yourself a boxing event.
Well, I mean, why not fight to the death in international waters?
Okay, Mad Max.
Yeah, easy there, Thunderdome. Easy, Thunderdome.
Somebody didn't get the New Year's Eve kiss.
We're running out of time. Thanks very much for joining us, Ray.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. To all the fans watching around the world, thanks for tuning in to the last episode of the year of the Friday Night Panel, man. Starring none other than me and Graham, who are here every week. And our producer who graced us with his presence this evening. Thanks, Eric, for your year of hard work. I know that you don't get a lot of appreciation, and man, you just stress all the time behind that camera.
Did I really grace you with my presence, or have I always been here? Or have I always actually been here?
You're always the eye in the sky, but the eye in the sky never lies.
And he hears everything.
Thanks again, Ray, for coming and joining us, man. It's always a pleasure having you on, man. We're gonna have to do it some more in the new year as our schedules get better. And man, we'd love to get you back for sure.
Thanks very much, lads. Thanks very much.
Yeah, man. And to all the fans watching, thanks for tuning in to this wonderful episode of Talkin' Fight, the Friday Night Panel. We'll see you next year.
See you next year.
It's the truth.